Welcome to Sean Can't Cook, but John Can. Sean and I have been actors for many years, but I assure you, this is no act. He really can't cook. I'm going to teach Sean, and you at home, how to feel more comfortable in the kitchen, preparing tasty recipes that even the most novice of cooks can create. I will show you step by step how to construct each dish so that when your friends come over, they'll ask, "How'd you learn how to make that?" If you already know how to cook, I hope you'll find a few recipes to add to your repertoire. Let's see what's on today's menu. Hello, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 3 of Sean Can't Cook, but John Can.
I really can't.
He can't, but let me ask you something. Do you feel a little more comfortable after 3 seasons in the kitchen?
Of course I do.
A little bit. A tiny bit.
I do.
I hope you at home feel more comfortable if you don't know how to cook. And if you do know how to cook, I hope you're finding some recipes to add to your repertoire. So, today we're going to make pad thai. You love it. I love it. It's delicious. And now I've learned how to make it. I only started 6 months ago, I think. I've been experimenting and trying different things, and that's what we're going to talk about. 2 things. 1, in the ingredients that you're about to see, you won't see any bean sprouts. Now, I don't know how you feel about them. I'm on the fence. I like them, but I don't love them.
I don't like them.
Okay, he doesn't like them. So, usually if we go out, if I remember, you always seem to remember. Sometimes I forget to tell them no sprouts. And I'll eat them, they're okay, but they're not my favorites. You know what? Adaptable cooking. We have left them out. If you decide to use them, about 1.5 cups, 2 cups, I would say, you'll put them in along with the green onions. We'll talk about that when we get to that point. The other thing is tamarind paste. I couldn't find it during the middle of the pandemic, so I found some mango chutney. This is mango preserves because I couldn't find the mango chutney again. So mango preserves it is. It adds a sweetness with a little bit of sourness, which I think is what the tamarind was trying to do, but I didn't like it.
You really don't like it.
I didn't like it. So I'm not using it. It's adaptable cooking. So this is my weird, funky little pad thai. The protein, you can use tofu, chicken breast, chicken thighs work well. You could probably use beef, pork.
Tofu?
I mentioned that, but you could use tofu. Tofu twice. The noodles. These are the linguine noodles that you're going to find out about in the Sean Kim dossier of ingredients. They're soaking in warm water about 100 to 115 degrees. If you don't have a thermometer, it's just fairly warm but not hot. You're not really trying to cook them. We're just trying to soften them. They're going to cook in the pan when we get there. So these will soak for about an hour in warm water. I cover them with plastic wrap to keep the heat in. So we're going to set those aside for now, and we're going to get busy with the sauce. So you're going to mix this up, and I'm just going to start putting the ingredients in. So the lime juice. Oops, I forgot. We're going to go to the Sean Cam and show you exactly what goes into this. Be right back. The ingredients that you will need for pad thai are 1 tablespoon of freshly squeezed lime juice, 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar. This you can adjust to taste. We're using 1.5 tablespoons of chili sauce. This you can also adjust to taste. This is fish sauce. We're using 2 tablespoons. I'm using 1/4 cup of mango preserves, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. Those are the ingredients that you will need for the sauce. You will also need 2 large eggs. And we're using chicken breast today. This is about 1.5 pounds. You can use between 1 pound and 1.5 pounds of whichever protein you prefer, or if you're going to just use vegetables, use those. This is 3 garlic cloves chopped. This is 1 bunch of scallions, which is about 8 scallions chopped. This is 1 pound of rice noodles. Now, just so you know, this is what I found in the grocery store. They were linguine style. They have thinner ones. You can use those if you prefer. And for garnish, these are optional. Chopped peanuts and some lime wedges to squeeze on top. The equipment that you will need, I'm using a non-stick pan. I tried using a regular pan and the noodles stuck. I didn't like it, so I have this deep, large, it's kind of a wok, I call it a wokette pan, but it's non-stick. I've got 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil in there. I'm using canola oil, a nice light neutral oil. I'm using a wooden spoon and fork. I'll explain why I have one of each. A bowl for mixing the sauce and a spoon, and something to drain the noodles. And that's it. Let's make some pad thai. Now that you know what goes into it, let's show you how to put the sauce together, which I've already started, as you saw. So, the lime juice goes in, the rice vinegar, sometimes it's called rice wine vinegar, either or. The fish sauce, the first time I made this, I used a lot, and it was like, oh, it tastes like fish sauce. Fish sauce is, do I say fishy? Is that okay?
You don't need a lot.
It's strong. It's very strong. So I found 2 tablespoons works well, because this is a good bit of, this would serve 4 people. We usually have it and have it left over, so we check like 4 servings out of it. The sugar, you can adjust that if you want. I like it sweet. If you've gotten to know me on this show, yes, you can start stirring. If you've gotten to know me at this point, I like sweets. So it does give a sweet and sour taste to it. The mango preserves, as we talked about, I'm just not a fan of the tamarind paste. So I found this and it works. Is it going to come out? Is it going to come out? Some of it did.
Mix it up.
Yeah. So you can mix that up. Grab that a little bit more. I don't want to miss any of this. So I found a mango chutney that had some spices in it. That was good. The mango preserves works well. Either or works good. The paprika gives it a nice little spiciness. Bang. And if you could scoop that out.
Sure, I'll just take it.
Okay. Get these out of the way.
It's very red.
It's very red. And this is the sauce. It's very simple. It doesn't look like a lot for all these noodles. There's a pound of noodles that we're going to drain, but it works. When I first started making it, I thought, oh, this isn't enough sauce. But as you mix it, it's just the right amount. You can always make more if you want. Oh, the other thing we can talk about, the dryness, wetness. You like it drier.
I do.
I like it in between. Some people might like it wetter. So when we drain these noodles, do not get rid of the water. We're going to use that to add to it, and we'll show you that when we get to the stove. But yeah, you can adjust the dryness or the wetness, and keep in mind, as you're cooking it, it's going to soak it all up. And as it sits, when you take it off the heat, even if it sits for 5 minutes before you eat it, serve it, it's just going to soak up more. So I always make it a little bit wetter than I like it, because as it sits, it just sucks it all up. So sauce is ready. Thank you for stirring so well. So he's going to back behind the camera. We're going to go over to the stove and show you how to put this all together. Okay, we know what goes into it. We've made the sauce. The prep work really is the big bulk of the work to do with pad thai. Once it's done, it just goes together in the pan and it just cooks. So it's going to go fast. So let's get started. I've had the pan heating up. We're going to take the garlic and put in, the fork and spoon. The reason I do that, once the chicken is cooked and you've touched raw meat with it, we're going to get rid of the fork and switch to the spoon. Very important. So, in goes the garlic. Come on over, Sean. Let's take a look at that.
Okay. Good sound.
This is going to be fast. You don't want this to cook too much. You don't want it to get browned. Once the chicken goes in, it stops it from browning, I have found. So we're just going to let this go for about 30 seconds. This is on medium heat. We're going to turn it up a little bit once the chicken goes in. Okay, I see a little bit of browning, so we're going to grab the chicken. It's all going to go in at once. Now, here's a little discussion about this. This is very crowded. And it's starting to get a little noisy. I'm turning the heat up to medium-high. So, the reason I'm putting it all in at once, this is just to make it a little bit easier. If I were trying to get browned chicken, which I'm not really, I'm just trying to get cooked chicken in pad thai.
Right.
If I was trying to get browned chicken, I would do this in 2 or 3 batches, because crowding this will keep it from browning. Also, the non-stick pan, it won't get quite as brown. So we're going to toss this around, keep stirring it, keep flipping it. Also, just let it go for a little while on each side, like 30 seconds, so that it starts cooking through. So we'll come back in a minute and show you what it looks like. So, This is a nice hot pan. This has been going for about 1 minute. As you can see, there's still some pink in the chicken. Can you see that, Sean?
Yeah, I'm not trying to too close there.
Yeah, we don't want to splash and ruin the camera. But, see, there's still some pink.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we're going to keep going. Again, this isn't going to get brown. It's just going to cook. So we're going to let this go for about another minute and see where we're at there. Okay, the chicken's been cooking for about 2 more minutes. Let's take a look.
Okay.
As you can see, it's not browned. That's okay for pad thai. So, you can also push on it. It's mostly firm. This isn't 100% cooked, which is good because we still have a ways to go. The next thing we're going to do is make a little well in the middle. We're going to cook the eggs. So, again, we're getting rid of the fork.
All right, I'll just wait here.
Coming back with the spoon, clean spoon. The eggs go right in the middle.
Look at that.
And break them up. And we're going to let those sit for about 30 seconds or so till they start to congeal. I like the word congeal. Some of the chicken will get mixed in, that's okay. These are actually going to get scrambled, and then we're going to throw it all through the chicken.
It smells amazing.
We're not going to throw it through the chicken, we're going to stir it through the chicken.
It smells really good.
Doesn't it? And we're not even there. So see, they're starting to cook. See that? And at the edges here, they're starting to get like scrambled eggs, which is what you want. So we just let it go for a little while, and then you just start stirring it through the whole pan. It's very beige right now, very yellow. The sauce will make it what color, Sean?
Red.
There you go. Primary colors. This is a teaching show, not just how to cook. So, we've got that. That looks good. Again, this is going to continue to cook once we add everything else. But you see, you've got scrambled eggs going through there. And again, if you don't like eggs, you can leave those out. Next up are the noodles. These have drained. We're going to put all of them in at once. Now, this is kind of tricky because they're not, even though they've softened in the water, they're still a little weird. You just have to move them around.
Hear it.
Yeah, you just want to keep moving them around. They'll start softening up eventually, but we're going to keep going and stirring. They're a little bit difficult, and you're probably going to get frustrated because I did the first time. I'm like, this isn't right. But you will see they will magically transform. So let's go to the left, Sean, and show this to the left.
Okay.
This is the water that we had from the noodles. I've saved it. This is a half cup measurement. So I'm going to pour a half a cup over the noodles. You know what? We're going to do a whole cup to start. I'm just going to put a cup because this is going to evaporate, cook out.
That's a full pan.
Full pan. So, turn this up just a little bit. And it sounds like, oh my gosh, this is going to be way too wet, but it's not. It's going to evaporate, cook out. The noodles, again, are going to soak this all up. We're probably going to need more water. So as you see, they're starting to soften up a little bit. And this goes pretty quickly. You just want to keep stirring. This is going to be about a total of 4 minutes, maybe 5 for the noodles. So we'll come back and show you what they look like in a minute. As you can see, right, Sean?
Yep.
The noodles have softened. They are cooking. So, next step. I'm going to add the, what color sauce, Sean? Red. So I'm going to cheat and get in front of you. So make sure you get every drop that you can of this delicious sauce. Again, if you want more sauce, feel free to, you know, another 50%. Add some more sauce. So, you just want to give this a quick stir, and it sounds wet. It sounds like, oh my gosh, what's he doing? These noodles are too wet. Trust me, this is going to soak up, especially when it comes off the heat, and it's going to dry. So, I'm just going to stir this. Make sure you get the noodles coated, the chicken. It's starting to smell good in here, doesn't it, Sean?
Sure does.
Yes. So, there's one more step to do. Once we get these coated and stirred a little bit.
It's your favorite part.
Yes, I love the scallions. It's my favorite part. Another little well in the middle. This is also where you would add the bean sprouts if you want those. Again, we're leaving them out. And what you want to do is, as much as possible, take some of the noodles, fold them over. We're going to steam these just for 30 seconds to a minute. Some of them fall by the wayside. Those errant little scallions. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit.
It's really cool how you use the heat of the dish to cook things that
Right.
you put in.
So I'm trying to get these in the middle and they're
That's
not going.
good.
But it doesn't matter. They're all going to steam. So you can just let this sit for about 30 seconds to a minute. These just need to soften up a little bit. Again, this is my favorite part. I don't know why, I just love scallions. So, and as you can see, it's still wet, but it's getting drier as we go along. The heat is taking care of that. So, we're going to let this sit for about 30 seconds to a minute, and we'll come back and show you what it looks like. I've got my spoon. Let's go in and finalize this pad thai. So, this has been steaming for a little while. You just want to give it a final little stir. Something I've come across while I've been learning how to make this, I cut the chicken, maybe half-inch cubes. I was cutting it too big. It's just easier to eat when it's smaller pieces. So we're just going to stir this up. Now, this sounds a little wet, which is good, because I'm telling you, when this sits, it's going to soak it all up. So, if you want it wetter, you can add a little bit more of that water that we saved. If not, I think this looks good. What do you think, Sean?
That's great.
And how does it smell?
Amazing.
It does. It smells really good. So, I think 2 more words have to be said, and those would be, Sean.
Let's eat.
Yes, let's eat. Welcome back. We have a steaming bowl of pad thai. Just came off the stove about 5 minutes ago. So again, the noodles have soaked up some of that moisture, but it's not dry. It's moist. So would
Looks
you like
really
a little
good.
bit?
Yeah, yeah.
So we're going to have a little taste. Ooh. Noodles are hard.
I can hold yours.
Noodles are hard. Let me give you some chicken.
I can hold yours.
Thank you. Teamwork, everybody. Oops. Oops. Noodles, pasta.
Little chicken there.
Little chicken. I didn't mix the chicken
So good.
perfectly, but that's
Look
okay.
at that steam. Ah.
Steam. Now, I like a little lime on mine.
I like mine plain.
Sometimes you put lime on.
Sometimes.
Little lime. I like little peanuts on mine. I like a lot of peanuts on mine. Actually, peanut sauce is very good and very common in Thai food. So I think that's why the peanuts again. It smells
amazing.
really
And
good.
it looks beautiful too. The colors
Oh my
and like the
gosh.
red and the green like mixed in. It looks really
We've
good.
had a lot of pad thai recently because I've been practicing with
Pad
it.
Thai aficionado.
Now, you probably would like it a little drier, right?
No, it's alright.
Oh, it's okay.
No.
Okay.
Well, you're right. Those noodles really like soften up. Man, it's got a little kick in it. You got a kick in it. I'm always asking
Keep
for.
talking. I took too much.
I'm always asking for a little more spice, and like this is, I think, the like kickiest one you've made. That's
Again,
really good.
you can adjust the chili sauce. One other thing. Do you notice the difference? You know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I do know. We're gonna try, and I can tell a difference.
The fish sauce. I bought. I've been buying a little bottle in the grocery store. They only had 2 choices. Actually, the first time I bought it, I think they only had 1. It was $4 a bottle. I didn't know anything about it. I'm new to fish sauce, so but it was good. This time they had a second bottle that was. It said 100% pure on it. It was made in Vietnam. It was $8 for the bottle, so it was double the price. But I feel like it's a better sauce, so I'm going to stick with that one. So a little tip there for you today. So again, the accompaniments are your choice. The bean sprouts, the protein, adaptable cooking all around. So this is good. We're going to have some more. Even though we've had it a lot lately, I still like it. So
Hey, pass that lime.
he does want a little lime.
Just a little.
The lime just really does add a little brightness
Yeah,
to
it
it.
needs
So
a little lime.
we're going to keep eating. I hope you'll keep cooking. You're a little more comfortable today, so maybe someday you'll make this for me.
It'll happen.
It'll happen.
It'll happen.
It'll happen. You know, it is baby steps. I mean, you've not cooked. I mean, we've done what, 4, 8. This is our 11th episode. So that's not a long time to be cooking. I've been cooking for 45 years. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, this is good. He's coming along. So we will see you next time on Sean Can Cook, but John Can. We hope you're enjoying our show. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and keep cooking.
Oh, and Instagram.
And Instagram too, yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's eat.